Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Real Estate Uncensored. Yes, it is me, myself, the one and only Greg McDaniel. Matt Johnson has released the controls to the wisest man that co-hosts the show. If he's listening to this, he's probably crapping his pants. But no, guys, we got an incredible guest today. We got Dale Archdekin. I'm going to bring him in a second, but I just want to let you guys know, as you guys are starting to come on and watch us live, or if you're watching us on the replay, please, if you like what we're putting out there, number one, go tell a friend, okay? We want to make sure that everybody out there that needs to learn something can come find our show. We can entertain them, educate them, and have a lot of fun throughout the entire process. Also, go follow us on YouTube. Subscribe there. Go to iTunes or Stitcher, and you guys can follow us and watch us there. But enough of me gabbing on. Oh, my Lord. Dale. You know, Archdekin, the man, the myth, the legend. He is here in flesh, you guys. Dale, welcome, man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm honored, man. I can't believe you're going to share this stage with me. I'm surprised my head fits on the screen with yours. That's just amazing.
With all this hair, I seriously am wearing a hair helmet right now. See how actually in California, they require motorcyclists to wear helmets. Not for me. I just have so much gel in my hair right now because it's so long. I don't need a helmet anymore.
They would know that you could bury some spikes in that thing. They wouldn't know the difference. Did you tell everybody that we're having a beauty contest after this? That's the reason we're dressed up like this. We just, we moonlight as real estate agents, but really we have a, we got a Mr. Universe contest going on after this.
Donald Trump doesn't have anything on that. Oh man, you guys. So hey guys, welcome. I'm glad everybody is coming in and watching us right now. Dale, well, I'm going to bring him back in, but I want to, Dale, we always get a question from our audience over at the Lead Gen Scripts and Objection Facebook group. If you guys are not a part of that, go right now. Wait, not right now. After our show, go over to the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections and join the group, guys. It is a phenomenal opportunity where you can go in, ask some questions about lead generation, scripts, objections, anything, to get more business. About just under 30,000 people in there. We're trying to go for 35,000 people before the end of the year. We want you guys to be a part of it. But we got a question out of that, and Dale, I'm gonna bring up a question. It's going to be kind of what you and I are going to be talking about today, right? A little bit on the ISA training and kind of what you're doing and so on and so forth. So let's you want to do a question real quickly?
Sounds good.
Okay, so I got a question from Steve Anderson. Sorry, God, if I can only read, dyslexia is such a bitch sometimes. Steve Anderson is asking this. Hey, I'm a brand new agent, and I've been talking to a lot of different teams about ISAs. Should I hire an ISA or should I wait? So
that's a fantastic question. Fantastic question. My first question is, are you successful so far, right?
Right.
Are you still living in your mom's basement, or are you closing some business, right? So, that would be the first question. Yeah, you should absolutely hire an ISA if you want to leverage, but are you already closing enough business? I don't want to give hard numbers, but let's say that somebody's already producing between 3 and 5 million, right? Mm-hmm. You're closing enough business that you can actually pay your bills, you got some more money in your pocket, and now you're trying to figure out what to do. So usually people in that position are trying to figure out if they should hire an assistant. So I think you need to figure out, do you go with an assistant or do you go with an ISA to leverage more lead generation? Me personally, I think that, the name of the game, as you know, is lead generation, right? Mm-hmm. Lead generation, and then more lead generation. So anytime that you can get more of that, that's a good thing. As long as you can afford it and you don't go broke paying for an ISA.
Absolutely. That is a great question you have there. Should I get an assistant or should I get an ISA? And I'm with you on this one. I think that you need to look at your finances first, because ISAs can be expensive, but you also can leverage that in different points. But I mean, I think it's really important that, one, they figure out what works best for them. Wouldn't you agree? And
absolutely.
And if an ISA,
and I want to give another point. Let me throw this in there, Greg. So the other reason that somebody shouldn't do it is if they're like, I hate this lead generation thing. The phone doesn't really work for me. Let me find somebody that it works for. Probably not a good thing to do, because you're going to have to be, unless you're hiring a third-party company to do this for you, you're going to have to be the trainer. You're going to have to be the lion tamer. You're going to have to teach them how to do this. You're going to have to motivate them, and you're going to have to keep them doing it, right? So that they're going to be successful in feeding you with appointments. And if you can't stand it, then it's going to be really hard to go and teach somebody else to do it and how to do it effectively.
That's actually a really, really good answer. But Dale, introduce yourself. Tell them why you're such an expert on ISAs, man.
Well, one, I'm friends with you. I think that's it. Two, I am the director of lead generation for a top 10 Keller Williams team right now. And I have tons of years of experience of phone prospecting and sales. I started out selling credit card insurance when I was in high school part-time.
No way.
Do you know how worthless credit card insurance is?
I didn't even know you had credit card insurance.
Yeah, exactly. So back in the day, these sweatshops would have people like me, 18 years old or 17 years old, calling you up, trying to sell you protection against fraudulent charges on your credit card, right? This was a thing back in the 90s.
What?
And I'd have to get a credit card number. I'd be like, hey, we're going to put this charge on your bill. And people were like, fine, here you go. And so I did so well at that I graduated up to renewing Sports Illustrated subscriptions. That was fish in a barrel. But unfortunately, I was so good that they moved me back to credit card insurance sales. So I kind of shot myself in the foot there. But then when I got into real estate, I went down the Mike Ferry road, man. That spoke to me since I was a hardcore prospector. Like, that touched my heart. And as people don't normally say that about Mike Ferry, that he touched their heart. But
no,
they don't.
Not say that.
So yeah, I went in there, man. Just got in there and slayed it, and then got together with my now CEO Noah, and he said, "Look, man, let's." I got all these leads, and they're just kind of like they're cherry picking these things. They're just rotting over here in a pile. Let's do something about this. So I said, you know what, man, I am tired of slaying the dragon every day. I want to figure out how to hire and train dragon slayers. So let's get together and I'll build an inside sales department. That's how we did it.
Okay, so you started building an inside sales department. Take me back, and what were the first steps for getting sourcing and training great ISAs? Because typically, man, like you and I were talking off air, ISAs are interesting at times, and there's some groups, and this is not a racist thing in the slightest. There's some groups outside of the country that, because of certain language barriers, they come across as telemarketers for a larger corporation. Immediately, bam, everyone just shuts down and says, well, screw this. I don't want to be communicated to by someone with an accent, which is totally wrong and every level. But unfortunately, in some marketplaces, it does have that effect. So how did you get over that hump? Where did you go? How did you train these people to be like you?
So what I did was we just run ads, man. And what I've developed is a high volume recruiting model that I use, right? Mm-hmm. When I first started, I wasted a lot of time reading resumes, looking at their past work history, trying to figure out who I wanted to talk to. And then I'd book a phone call with them. First 30 seconds on the phone call with them, I'm like, I want to be off this call. This is not going to work out. And I realized this is not the way to go about hiring. So here's what I did. I get them to call a phone number, right? Leave me a voicemail. I listen to their voicemail, and right there I decide, are you in or are you out? Can you articulate or not? Do you sound like an idiot, or can you, have an intelligent conversation? Mm-hmm. And do I want to talk to you, right? So I'm not going to hire people I don't want to talk to or work with or train or mentor or whatever. So from that, then I book a role play with them for 20 minutes, and I have a VA who helps me do this real fast, right? So I book a role play with them. I send them the Mike Ferry FSBO script. And I tell them about the role. Here's how much it is. Here's what you have to do. You're going to be on the phone 6 hours a day. Sound good? Great. Let's role play. You're they're the agent. I'm the for sale by owner. Your goal is to set an appointment with me. And if you let me off the phone before you ask all the questions on your script that I sent you, you fail.
Really?
Ready?
I'm ready.
What we do.
Want to role play this?
Yeah, sure. You want to role play?
Okay, so I'll be the homeowner.
No. You're going to be the agent.
I'm going to be the agent?
You're the candidate. I am that's how it works.
Oh, you're the ISA.
Yeah, so when a candidate wants to apply to be an ISA, mm-hmm. they have to play the role of the agent and role play with me. The FSBO. That's how it works.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. Do you want to go down that script really quickly and kind of show people what that looks like, or is that kind of your secret sauce?
It is a little bit of secret sauce, but I got a lot of secret sauces, so let's get into it. So I'll break down the script, right?
All right.
So there's a couple of test points in that script, okay? So when I tell them that you're going to fail this thing if you let me off the phone before you ask all your questions, that does a couple of things, right? There will still be people who will let me off the phone before they ask all their questions. Those people are immediately disqualified because they are too nice to do this job, right?
Interesting. Okay.
I specifically told you as the hiring manager, you fail if you don't ask me all these questions on this script, and you still let me off the phone. What makes you think that when you hire that person after they're there for the first month and the honeymoon period wears off, that they're really going to be keeping people on the phone when they couldn't do it from the day one when you said you fail if you don't?
Good point.
They're not going to.
They're not going to. They can't do it. They already proved that to you in the very, very beginning. It's like an agent who gets beat up on their commission right off the bat. How are they going to negotiate strongly for your top dollar if they can't even defend their own dollar, right?
Exactly. Same idea. And hey, those people, they're nice. That's great. Like, put them into another role, but they're not going to be an inside hired assassin for you, right? That's just not going to work.
Right. So go ahead.
I was just gonna run you through a few more points in that script on skills that we're looking for if you want.
Yeah. Let's do that. I love this.
Okay. So the first objection that we get to, right? In the Mike Ferry script, it's something like, is the home still for sale? Yes or no? Great. I was wondering when you plan on hiring a powerful agent for the job of selling your home, right?
Oh, I like that powerful agent part. That's awesome.
Yeah. So the first objection there is, this is how I tee it up, right? Hey, so actually, it's the question when they ask where you're moving to next. When you sell this, where would you move to next, right? So then what I say is, oh, you know what? We're going to be moving to the suburbs. But did you say you're a real estate agent?
Yeah.
Yes. I work for somebody, or whatever this applicant says to fill in the gap. Then I say, oh, you know what? Well, we're not using a real estate agent. We're selling it on our own. Thanks. That's the first no, right? That's the first objection. I throw that in there after the second question. Most of the people I'm role playing with don't have any real estate experience. So that objection right in there does a couple of things. It either weeds people out right there. They either break role play and they can't do it because they don't have enough sales experience or role play experience, or they'll give me the shuffle, right? The sales shuffle, which is awesome, which means that they have some sales experience, but they just aren't highly trained enough to be able to do the repeat, approve, move to the next question, which is what you're really looking for, right? So 3 outcomes happen in from that one objection. So again, that's a skill test that you're looking for.
That's awesome. A lot of the times, this is a lot of times when people think about maybe ISAs or anything else, they think about some dude or chick just sitting on a phone like, oh hi, okay, sorry, bye, click, and sorry, hi, no, click, just like numbers. But you're breaking it down and it's becoming an art form. It's not just a job, it's a true craft, right? That's what you've developed?
Well, that's what you do every day, right? You're a craftsman at this point, right? I'm a craftsman. Your top salespeople are craftspeople, right? They've honed their craft. So if you can distill your craft down and look for the skill sets and test for any existing experience that somebody already has that will lead them on the path to being another craftsman, you will have assassins as ISAs rather than phone monkeys, which is not that's not what I'm looking for, right?
No, nobody wants a phone monkey or a door monkey. No. They want trained killer assassins. I love that term.
Yes, yeah. And so, how do you find an assassin that's not already out on the street slaying their own dragons, right? That's the rub, man. That's the magic.
So we're training up these absolute killing machines for lead generation. How do you keep them accountable? How do you keep them moving on a daily basis? Because we all know that in sales and everything else, you have a down day. I have one of my friends, and they're going through a really rough time right now. This is a true story. I was just talking to them a few minutes ago. They're just taking the day off. They're just basically like, "Fuck you, world. I'm out. I can't take life right now."
That's a shame.
How do you keep your ISAs accountable and moving forward when they are having just a slump or a bad day?
Yeah. Look, man, we've all been there. You've been there. I've been there. It sucks, right? People out there listening, we've all been there. And the ISAs get there too. So I would say there's two parts to accountability, man. There's support, right? So when you're having that kind of day, you need support, right? You don't need to be beat over the head with your numbers. What you need is you need support and you need understanding. Now, if you're okay and things are grinding along and things are going along the way they should be, but you're not hitting your numbers, that's when accountability comes in to sort of work back through the tracker and see, are you making enough contacts? How are your dials doing? Is your administrative piece taking you off task too much, right? Is it your language that's screwing it up? Is it your head, what's going on in your head, right? So that's the accountability piece. So if we want to talk about the support side, right? Just make it, look, it's a hard business, man. It is a really, really hard business. If you ask any real estate agent what one piece of their business they would give up and still be successful, guess which piece that would be?
Lead generation.
For most of them. Lead generation. Calling strangers, right? Calling people and following up with leads. They'd give that part up because it's the hardest part. I know agents that would rather fill out a stack of paperwork than call one stranger.
So true. But they always wonder where their business is. And that's the part that just comes around and bites you like a cobra. You're like, well, fuck stick. I can tell you where your problem is. You're not reaching out to enough people. It's a numbers game, right?
Yeah, exactly. It is a numbers game. So understand that, right? Understand it's a really hard role. And we talk about the support side, like from Jump Street, from when I role play with a candidate, it's like, look, dude, do you want to go down this road? This is gonna be a cage match. You understand that, right? It's gonna be 6 hours of phone work daily, man. You're gonna get your ass kicked. You want to do it? Great, let's do it. Then when we come in, when somebody gets hired, we bring them in, and really I start with, for the accountability part, I start with where you're at in your life. Where do you want to be? What matters to you? What are your goals? What are your aspirations? What do you want to achieve, right? Those are all the carrots that you use to move somebody forward when it comes to the accountability piece. But also it builds the rapport and the trust factor, and you just let them know, like, look, man, we all have shitty days. You're going to have times where you go through a string of just people being complete assholes to you on the phone.
Yep.
Take a break. Just stop. Get up, go somewhere else, do something else, clear your head, get away from it, and then come back. So it's just keeping it real like that, man. You're going to have down days. And so when we're tracking numbers, right, I'm not hammering these people on making sure that they're setting 2 or 3 appointments every single day. Because there's going to be days when they don't set any. There's going to be days when they set 5 and 6, right? It all comes out in the wash. So we kind of measure to the month, we measure to the numbers at the end, and I coach to the goal is what I do.
That's really important. Actually, I've done well over 100,000 cold calls myself, sitting right here in this chair, using the Mojo dialer. And it's very, very true. I like you were just talking about. I sit here and I do it in chunks. I'll do like chunks of 250 phone calls, and then I get up, take a break, detach, go outside, get a breath of fresh air, go get my car cleaned, go for a quick little walk, go do something to break up the monotony of it. I mean, everybody needs to do it. If people are listening, when you guys are listening to this, know to the fact that, Dale and I mean, we've done the calls ourselves. We've gone through everything that we're talking about. That's why we have the ability to sit here. Well, Dale is leading a massive team in pure lead generation. I've done a lot of lead generation myself. So know to the fact that when we're talking about the trials and tribulations of this, we've done it. We do it on a daily basis. I mean, you guys, any of you that watch me on Lead Gen Scripts and Objections Facebook page, I do circle prospecting every single day, and you see me get my ass kicked. I mean, when you guys get your butt kicked, it's okay, right, Dale? It's part of the game. This is how the game is played, right?
That's how it works, man. Whatever mind trick you got to play on yourself to keep you doing it is what you got to do. And I coach other people on building their own inside sales departments and inside sales teams. And one of the most important things that I do with other people when I'm coaching them is I share a lot of the personal development books and audios that I listen to. Like I'm constantly working on my own, mind and emotion and spirit to be able to get myself to do the things I don't want to do and get myself to go and get my ass kicked again.
Yeah,
literally. So that's what it takes.
You know what? I'm sure you've read this book, but one of my favorite books I talk about all the time is called Go for No. and it talks.
I just read that.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh my God, man. I absolutely love this book. Anyone that's watching this now or watching this later on the replays, go get that book. Literally get it right now. Go download it from audible.com or go buy it from a bookstore, get it on Amazon or something like that. It's an easy read or listen to. And it talks about gamifying essentially your calls. And this, if you're training ISAs or if you're your own ISA right now, you know, this is going to show you that once you desensitize yourself to that tiny itsy bitsy teensy weensy word called no, and it's no, then it won't have any power to you. Like if I just said, pen, okay, it's a pen, right? There's no power to it. Or mouse, right? There's no power to that word. As soon as you can take that away, you can show your ISA team or person that there's no power in the word no, then all of a sudden it just becomes another word, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I'll give you one thing. I'll give you the thing that I took from that book the most.
Yeah.
Which was changing your perspective. It helped change my perspective too, right? I looked at it as, oh, I gotta know, oh, I gotta know, oh, I gotta know. And one of the things that I struggled with for a long time, and still struggle with occasionally when I try something, is that ugly voice inside you that says this is not going to work, this is not going to happen, right? There's no chance, it's not going to, I'm not going to succeed at this. And it's those of us who fight through that who are able to keep doing it. But if you can take that away entirely, now you're on cloud nine. And that's one of the things that I took from this book, is how to shift your perspective to the point where every time you hear no, you have such an unwavering belief that you're going to hit yes, that it does not matter to you, because all it is more fuel for your energy, because you're like, that's awesome, I'm going to be there soon, the promised land is coming, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of guys that I was talking about this book, and I know we're kind of taking a left-hand turn here, but I think it's actually very important that we talk about this, because once you gamify this thing and you turn it into something that's awesome, like when you get told F off, you're like, yes, I got an F off, you know, or someone slams the phone, you're like, oh, you're so awesome, you need a hug, you know. You make it entertaining and fun. I had a couple of guys that reached out to me. They're like, dude, we listened to you, we went and got the book, and now my buddy and I, we both read it, we go into the office together, and every time we get an F off or a door or a slam or a no, we try to contend to get the worst hang up out of the day, and then we high five each other, we keep moving forward, and we reward each other for who can ever get the most and the worst. And because now that it's a game, when I do my cold calls, I don't try to go for a lead. I'm like, okay, I want to be told no hardcore 25 times in 1 hour. Can I do this?
Nice.
And then I actively move through the calls. So
that's fantastic.
So let's take me back a little bit, and let's change gears a little bit here. Talk to me a little bit how you went from, you know, just you in the beginning, how you're able to take the team and go to 9 locations. I mean, that's a serious feat.
Yeah. So what we do, you know, obviously there's a big team here, and when we started out with just one location, I mean, even in this location, we had grown the team. When I joined Noah's team, I think he had around 6 or 7 agents, something like that. And then once we moved over to Keller Williams, you know, we were very much focused on the expansion model, right? So we said, we know what works here. We know we can find agents in other markets. And then it really was a matter of, just like anything else, like if you're out there trying to look for real estate business, we were out there looking for agents to add to our team. We were looking for regional directors. We were talking to team leaders. We were talking to anybody at any event who wanted to talk about expansion in any way. And when you package up what you have to offer, which is essentially your listing appointment or buyer appointment, right? And you make it look great, and you put it in front of enough people, you're going to win. Like that's what we did. That's how you grew it. It's just like how you grow anything.
Yeah, you put the right people in the right seats on the bus. You got to make sure that they're the right fit for everything. Now, I know that people are probably wondering, well, how long did it take you guys to grow this? And did you guys have some epic fails? And of course, the answer is, you know, yes, it probably took a little bit of time. And yes, you probably put some people in the wrong seats in the bus a couple of times. So walk me through that a little bit, because at 9 locations, I mean, you had 5 or 6 or 7 agents in the beginning, but now how many people are on your team? How many you got?
We got about 30 agents.
Wow.
Yeah.
9 locations.
Yeah, and then we've got about 15 or 20 support staff
Mhm.
across my department, conveyancers, marketing, all those kind of other departments.
That's impressive. Okay. So what's the if someone's going to start their own quote unquote expansion team or start their own ISA team, let's talk a little bit about, what they would need to do to get started.
Yeah, so the first thing that you would want to do is figure out what your lead flow is. Like, what's your lead lever, right? So what are you doing that is causing enough leads to come in that you don't have time to work all of them, or your agents on your team don't have enough time to work them, right?
Uh-huh.
Or what's your plan to create those leads? Because for the outbound stuff, we don't have a whole lot of choices on the outbound stuff, right? We've got expireds, FSBOs, circle prospecting. And if you wanted to have your ISAs go out on the street to either do open houses or door knock, that could be a choice, or doing events, right? But in terms of pure outbound, we don't have a whole lot of choices. And those choices, although there's an unlimited supply of circle prospecting, I'm sure as you found, Greg, it's the lowest converting activity that you can do, right? So you have to do a shit ton of it to make, and you have to do it for over a good period of time to really see benefits coming from circle prospecting, generally speaking. So that means that you're going to need, if you're going to go with the cost of an inside sales agent in-house full time, you want to have leads, warm leads coming in, inbound stuff coming in.
Okay.
Right. So if you're, for single agents, what I would say is, if you have signed calls coming, if you have listings, you have signed calls coming in, you've got, some kind of internet leads or something coming into you, and you want to do an ISA, I think it's a great idea. You could even find another like-minded agent in your office who does about similar work to you, and that you can kind of trust, or one or two of them.
Mhm.
Hire them together, right? You split them up. So you each take a third of the ISA. They're a full-time ISA in your office. Get them trained up, and they're out there booking appointments for you. If you're a small team, I'd say organize your lead generation stuff. Make sure that, I'm going to say this, and this is uncensored, right? So I can say
God,
this.
yeah, it is.
One of the things that I see where people fail with inside sales, it's the bad marriage syndrome, right? We're not getting along anymore. Let's have a baby. Maybe that will fix it. No. Right? Hey, I have a team. This is awesome. I have lots of leads, but my agents aren't doing shit about it. Let me hire an ISA. Throw the ISA in there. They'll fix it all. Suddenly my agents will become productive. Not going to happen.
No, it never will. I mean, you got to fix the core root problem first. I mean, if it's the bad marriage issue, then you got to look at what the root issue is there. And if you need to separate from your team, or if you need to change something, you need to go change that. Don't add more to the fire, right? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Exactly, because what you're doing then is you're just adding. All you're doing is you're adding another thing in the process that will pan for gold for you, but you don't have jewelers at the desk making jewelry out of the gold, right? Like, it doesn't matter how fine the material is that they are being given. If they're not using it, nothing's going to happen.
Interesting question here. When it comes to finding that right person, right? What kind of personality types out of the DISC or any other personality type profiles? I mean, what have you found to be the best ISAs to do their work and actually enjoy what they're doing?
So I get this question all the time. And what I really prefer to do is say that first of all, there's no perfect, right? What I do when I'm screening, hiring, training, managing people is I'm managing to I'm training to what their weaknesses are. Okay. Every single disc profile personality has a weakness. I'm a high D. Greg, you're probably a high D and high I, if I had to guess.
Yep.
Okay.
Nailed it. And my D kind of ate my I sometimes.
So I'm going to venture a guess. Well, you have the high I. You either struggle with building rapport with complete strangers over the long term who aren't going to do something fast with you, or sometimes you struggle with talking yourself in and out of a sale because you don't stop talking. Which one? Do one of those match your personality profile?
A little bit. I mean, I'll tell you that for me, I don't like to sit there and listen to people drone on about bullshit. I really don't give a shit about your fucking past. I really don't.
About their cat tchotchkes.
Oh, God almighty, dude. Shut up. Let's move forward. You know, are you in or you out? But I mean, I think I'm good at making an initial rapport with someone, but it's the long-term follow-up that that has me. I mean, I have like stack of leads right here, and they've been sitting there all week. I haven't called them, and it's because I want to drive forward. So yeah, that's definitely something that I would love an S or a C to really hone in on, dive deep.
Exactly. So 50% of what your ISA is going to do is going to be long-term nurture. A good 50% of their business, that the appointments they set, is nurture. So I suck at that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you want it or not? Yes or no? Are we going to buy or not? You got to tell me right now, because I'm getting off. I got to make money.
I got shit to do, man.
Yeah, man. My mortgage company does not care about your cat tchotchkes, and I don't either. I got to go.
So how do you coach to that? Let's say I came to you and I'm like a high D, high I. Could I be an ISA?
Yeah, definitely you could. It comes down to me slowing you down, like putting pictures of bunnies in front of your cubicle. I would print out something that says like, everybody I speak to today is my friend, right?
It's like therapy and
yeah, exactly. It is. You gotta balance people out, man. Listen, they say when you go, if you take recruiting classes or hiring classes, right? When you learn this stuff, you learn that like, I have one way of being, you have one way of being, and we walk around in this world just looking for the other people who are the way that we want to be.
Yeah.
And suddenly they're geniuses, right? They're the best people ever, but it's just because they're just like us.
Yeah.
And that's how we want to be. So when you're operating, that's always what you're looking for. And that's what ISAs will do too, right? They'll connect with the people who are just like them. So you figure out how they are and you train them how to be differently, how to operate a different way. But here's the thing. I'm going to point this out to you. I would probably anticipate that you wouldn't stay an ISA for me very long. I would fast track you into being an agent.
Yeah.
Right. Because I just know that.
Yeah. I would want to shoot somebody, if I stayed doing an ISA work, because I mean, I do it on a daily basis. It's not my highlight of my day, but it's something I know that I need to do. Yeah. But yeah, that's an interesting segue that, you're talking, I mean, you talk about like moving people through the funnel. So do you use your ISA team as kind of like a recruiting stage? So you're like, okay, this person is going to stay here in an ISA form. Oh wait, this person, Greg, he needs to be moved up to an agent because he's way too spastic to stay doing ISA work, and the bunnies just aren't working anymore.
We even made him wear pink. It's just not working. We can't soften him up. I don't know what's going on.
We try to make him likable. It just sucks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you guys use it as a recruitment tool?
Yeah. So what we're doing now is we're taking new agents, right? Greenies right off the street. Mm-hmm. They got to run through the ISA department. So they got to graduate from the ISA department, and it's like it's our hatchery. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Where we're training them up, teaching them to be killers, and then putting them on the street. And then we maintain the ISAs in the department who are long-term ISAs who are really suited to that kind of long-term job, which if I had to give you a personality profile that I think fits that the best, it would tend to be a high S.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one for sure.
Yeah. So now I want to say that anybody can do it. Any personality profile can do it. It's that every personality profile is going to have certain struggles. And, S's, they tend to struggle with closing, with not wanting to upset people or not wanting to be too pushy, right? They don't want to destroy that relationship that they've made. Mm-hmm. But it's this kind of yin and yang balance, right? Where you're making a relationship and potentially breaking a relationship, and back and forth.
That's interesting that you say that. I mean, when people are listening to this live or later, take a little look at yourself. Where are you falling in the DISC platform? And it's okay to land anywhere that you're landing, because each and every one of you is made uniquely and special, and you're perfect the way you are. And yes, God bless you, my son. Yes. You now go out in the world. Yes, you can go.
Nice.
But what I'm saying is to the fact that if you guys are new in the business and you're like me, a high D and a high I, and you're like, God damn it, I can't freaking sit here. look what Dale's talking about. He's talking about you can train to your other side. You can train yourself to do what you need to do. And that comes down to schedules, right, Dale? So what is your schedule that you set up for your folks, and how rigorous is it? Now, you say 6 hours a day. Do people fight you on that a little bit? And how long do they typically stay doing it before they start falling off the wagon, or before they start, needing a little bit of a course correction? And that's when you come in as like the mothership, come right beside them. They're doing this. You come right beside them. You walk down the path with them. Then you separate off and let them keep going. When do you start to see that first little shakeup take place?
So the way that I structure things is that, like I said, from the very first conversation that we have, I set the stage, I set the expectation, right? And then I maintain that consistently over time. And it takes some work on my part. So I meet with my agents 3 times a week. My ISAs, I meet with my ISAs 3 times a week. One of those meetings is a one-on-one every single week with them to review their numbers. And if they're newer, we're coaching them into production and coaching them up, right? So, we want to get them to 20 contacts in a day, to 30, to 40 contacts in a day, and then beyond. So we're coaching them how to do that. And then we're holding them accountable to how many appointments they're setting, how many contracts they're getting signed. And they just know that that's a monthly standard, right? So we have basically the keep your job standard, right? Which is like, here's what you got to do to be in this department. Like, that's what you got to do. I'm here to get any roadblocks out of your way. I'm here to make sure that all you need to do is come in and make the donuts every day. And you just tell me if there's something that's keeping you from being able to do that. But I expect that at the end of the month, you're going to have your donuts, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then if you're struggling with getting there, we see it every week as we go along, and we just coach to it, right? So individually, what's going on with you? If we're having trouble with numbers, what do you think it is? What do we need to work on? And I really work with the ISA to help self-identify what they think is going on. And a lot of times people know, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta work with them, and they know. It's self-discovery. It's, you can never, one of the things that I follow is that you can't make anybody do anything.
Right, very true.
When it really comes down to it, you can't make anybody do anything that they don't agree to do unless you're holding a gun to their head, which I don't recommend. It's definitely illegal in this country.
Quick quick cover your ass comment right there, which I do not recommend firearms to the heads of your employees. Very bad corporate structure.
Not a good technique. So, they have to be internally motivated to do this thing. So when I said it all starts from the beginning, right? We establish, like, what is it that you want? And I'm here to help you achieve it. And here's how you can achieve that. Mm-hmm. You want to make $100,000 a year? Well, that means that you do X amount of transactions a month, right? And to do X amount of transactions a month, you got to set X number of appointments. You got to talk to X number of people, and you got to spend X amount of time dialing, right?
Yeah.
So then when it comes down to it, if we're not hitting the numbers, hey man, how are we going to get you to what you want if we're not getting these numbers that we need, right? That's it. What do we need to do to get you to help you get the numbers? What do I need to do?
What's going to be that catalyst for you? Is it going to be more money, more time off, more time with your kids? Do you want vacations? I mean, what's that driver that's going to push behind you to keep you making your numbers? I know for myself, when I was full-time ISA, I was doing 500 to 750 phone calls a day. Was when I was really sitting down and crushing them out. My top I ever did in one day was 1,131 phone calls. I'll never forget that number my entire life.
Wow. That's a high score.
Dude, I went home and watched paint dry. I was like, but I didn't have any other choice. So you guys that are sitting out there right now, you're like, God, I want to hire an ISA, but I don't have the money. Well, here's a spoiler for you guys. You got to go out and be your own ISA for a little while. You've got to get down in the trenches, because if you don't get down in the trenches, and Dale, I want you to confirm this with me, okay? If you don't get down in the trenches, then you don't know what to look for. You don't know what to expect when you either hire one or when you join a team and there's one working for you. You have no idea, so you don't know if they're doing a good job or not doing a good job, right?
Exactly. So let's walk them through a scenario. Great, you want to run out and hire an ISA, and you haven't gotten in the trenches and banged it out and been successful at lead generation yourself. So you hire somebody, they're fantastic. You think they're going to knock this out of the park for you, right? They set a couple of appointments out of the gate. You get up on stage at some event, tell everybody how ISAs are fantastic. Now we get into week or month 2, and nothing is happening.
Right.
They're not really making any phone calls. They're complaining about how the systems work and that your leads suck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now what do? How do you fix that?
So
That's
you run for
scary.
the hills.
Yeah, and you're still paying them, right?
Yeah. You're like, what the fuck, asshole? Why are you not doing why aren't you doing what you're doing in the beginning? You're like a high-end car. You work great for the first month, and you start breaking down and shit, and you're always in the shop. Damn it.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't want to say this to scare people because it absolutely can be done, but there just are some realities to it. And I think that the reason I enjoy being real about this is because just like we talked about how lead generation is that piece that everybody would offload if they could first, like out of the gate. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who haven't mastered the lead gen part who still want to offload it, but it's unfortunately I haven't found the magic pill yet. If you find it, Greg, or if anybody out there in the listening audience finds it, I want you to come find me in Philadelphia and I'll take a case of them. But I haven't found a magic pill yet.
I'll take 2 pallets. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it is the total truth. There is no magical pill out there. But I'm going to step back really quick when it comes down to the cost of the ISA. Okay, so let's say, like right now, there's an ISA team that I found me actually from a lot of the videos I was doing. They hunted me down. They're like, hey, I really think you should try our ISA team. And so I'm getting down to how to pay for an ISA team or how to pay for someone that can do it. Well, there's a gentleman by the name of Chuck that I worked with me for a little while, and he has a couple of closings coming his way he doesn't know about yet, and this has been like almost a year.
You're getting paid, Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck Deasy, baby cakes. You're getting paid, buddy. So I negotiated with this team out of Sacramento. I said, look, we all know that everyone, in an ISA world, everyone says, oh, I can set this many appointments. I'm like, that's really pretty. That's nice. I'll arrange, rainbows and sunshine and unicorns and lollipops and stuff. But I don't believe you. I straight up told this lady that. I'm like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you can do what you say you're going to do. And she remained very calm. She's super cool.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I don't believe you. You're full of shit, man. You're totally full of shit. And she's like, okay, I can understand that. I'm like, okay, so here's my scenario. I'm going to hire you for 1 week for 40 hours at no cost to me. Any appointments you set, I'll give you a 25% referral fee. She's like, okay, I can do that. I'm like, really? All right. Dude, in 3 days, she set 3 appointments for 3 buyer consultations that people are going to be going on. So,
beautiful.
I mean, help me walk through a couple scenarios how people can maybe offset or look for an alternative ways to pay for the ISAs as they get going in the business, or if they're cash tight a little bit. I mean, have you guys ever done anything like that on your team, or what kind of creative structures have you found?
So we haven't. We just jumped into hiring full-time inside sales agents, right? Well, actually, I kind of screwed it up trying to pay people too little to come in and do this job, which I discovered very quickly is a huge mistake. Yeah, so that was a waste of time.
You get what you pay for.
I got exactly what I paid for, and some good learning lessons from it. So we hire full-time ISAs now. I don't run part-time ISAs.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and we'll definitely get to that topic. So we pay, the going rate typically for a full-time ISA would be a base salary of somewhere between $24,000 and $30,000 a year.
Really?
So that works out to about $2,000 to $2,500 a month for your ISA.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, again, but that's people who have sales experience and skill. It's not, it's not people who, are trying to decide whether to work for you or McDonald's. That's not the kind of people, right? We got people with sales experience. So other creative ways to put this together, you could go with a third-party company, which is what you've done now, which it sounds like an awesome deal where it's like, I'll give you a pile of leads and pay you money if you make something out of it. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'd say if you can find another deal like that, that would be great. You could also split an ISA like I talked about with another agent. For those who have really solid inbound leads, like really solid inbound stuff, like come list me kind of stuff. But those are the bigger teams, right? That really have their marketing and lead gen dialed in. They could potentially go with an outsourced like VA kind of thing, where it's almost like somebody's just receiving the call and taking the information. You can obviously you can try and get a lender or some other vendor to help offset your cost.
Mm-hmm.
I have coaching clients who've managed to do that. They've got a couple of ISAs on their team that are, paid for by their contributors or paid for by their, co-marketing companies, mortgage, title, things like that. So those are some ways to offset the cost.
I think that's fantastic. You know what? I've always been a huge fan of spreading the wealth around. For a long time, lenders were able to basically take everything that, the leads that we found at open houses or any other lead sources, and we just give it over to them like, hey, they need a loan. So there you go, pal. You got another lead, right?
Yeah.
But now it is a pay to play game. Don't get, bamboozled by someone going, "Hey man, I'm your lender, man. Oh no, I can't help you out on finances. But yeah, I'll take all your buyers." First,
No.
fuck you. This is not how the game is played. Second off, if you want to build a partnership, you need to split the costs. So go 50-50 with them. I mean, RESPA for us, it has to be 50-50. It has to be branded. But they're looking for, not remodels. They're looking for loans to be God damn it, what's the name of that?
Refinance?
Thank you.
There it is.
There's a Friday brain for you. Refinances, they're looking for buyers. They'll be happy to, offset some of the costs for you guys. But I want to dive into, why in the heck do you not like part-time ISAs? I mean, why wouldn't you hire a part-time ISA?
So let me say this. There's two scenarios where I would hire a part-time ISA.
Mm-hmm.
One is if you're just doing heavy circle prospecting and you just need somebody to grind it out, right? You need somebody to bang it out. It doesn't take a whole lot of skill. Hi, my name is whoever. Do you want to sell your house or not? Goodbye, right?
Yeah.
Totally easy. Hire college kids for that. I know successful teams that hire rooms of college kids to do that kind of stuff.
Really?
The other scenario where I would do it would be if it was a real estate, somebody with a lot of experience in real estate or direct sales, who's just retired at this point. They already were a killer, but they just want to do it part-time. Great. I'll let you set appointments for me. But in our structure, I don't have time to train and manage and hold accountable and lead and, work and optimize a part-time person.
That's why
I don't mess with part-time.
That's a very, very, very fair way of looking at it, because, I guess I feel the same way about it, because part-time, you have to retrain the part-time every other time, because they're not honing their skills. They're not sharpening their blades of their assassin, warcraft. Their blades are being left out in the rain, and they're getting a little bit rusty. Therefore, they're not converting. Therefore, you have to spend more time with them, which takes away from what you're doing on a daily basis, which means, listing homes, writing contracts, negotiating contracts, or helping someone buy a house. It seems like a futile waste of time to continue that trend.
Do you want to be an LPGA golfer doing it part-time? Like, are you going to get there practicing part-time?
Are you saying I'm on the ladies PGA tour?
No, whatever.
I'm like,
the men's.
I'm like, I'm
the PGA
tour.
Greg's like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute, hold on. Nope, a dude. I'm still a dude.
The PGA.
That's too funny. All right. So in our last little while, what are a couple of final thoughts you want to leave with some people when it comes to give them a scenario they can quickly break down? If they have an ISA that's not performing, what's the conversation? How can they approach a conversation with that ISA that can be beneficial and productive for everybody on everybody's behalf?
I'm going to say this, man, and I might make some enemies out there by saying this. If you have an ISA, if you're paying an ISA that is not performing or not producing, it's your fault.
True. They're the boss. It's the buck stops with you, right?
You're the boss. If they're still there and you're paying them and they're not producing, then it's the buck stops with you, because you either need to coach, you haven't done what you needed to do to coach them into productivity, or they were wrong in the first place and you need to, nut up and get rid of them. Unfortunately, this is uncensored, so I wouldn't normally talk that way, but I'm trying to keep up with Craig.
I'm dropping F-bombs. You're like, I said nut. Oh.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep up with Greg here.
So yeah, I mean,
go
ahead.
Yeah. So what you would do is start from where you are, right? So who do you need to be? What do you need to do to make the difference? And with employees, I've learned that what I do first is I have failed somewhere and I figure out where I failed at, right? I either failed at training, or I failed at accountability, or I failed at tracking, or I failed at communication. Where did I fail? And what piece do I need to make sure that I've done correctly first before I jeopardize somebody's income, right?
Oh, right,
So
absolutely.
let me figure that out. Let me retrace my steps, figure out what I need to do to give you the benefit of the doubt that you are the right person to do this. And then if I do those things and I correct those things, like if I wasn't tracking you enough, if I wasn't meeting with you enough, if if I wasn't holding you accountable, or I didn't train you properly, and I fix those things and you're still not producing, then this is not the right job for you. This is not the right fit for you, and it's time to exit.
Absolutely. Basically, what you're touching on here, and I think is incredibly powerful, and people need to be aware of, is that you're being humble. You're allowing yourself to be vulnerable to the fact that you're not perfect. And as soon as you have the ability and the humility to, address those facts, then you're going to be a great leader. You're not going to be a boss. A boss sits up on top and tells everybody what to do. A leader jumps down out in the front and pulls everybody forward. And if you're honing your skills, you're going to be able to help other people hone their skills, because you're going to be able to tell the story about what you did to get there.
Yep.
A lot of the times these top team leaders and the top agents, there are egos out there. There's some big ass egos in this business. And if you can take yourself away from that and be different and lead your team forward, that's going to make a tremendous difference. They're going to want to follow you if you do that.
Absolutely.
So,
Greg, you've heard the seagull method of management, right? I'm sure everybody's heard of that one.
I love that one. I have, but I want you to explain it, because
the seagulls, when they fly in squawking and they shit on everybody and leave. That's the seagull manager.
I had a manager like that, dude. I swear to God, this dude flew in, squawked at all of us, took a shit on us, and just like, all right, I gotta go, and he just took off. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. You made everything worse.
I'm getting my ass handed to me all day, and then you added to it. Thank you.
Yes. Gosh, go find a rock and just go under it. Just leave me alone. Don't be a seagull manager. This is what we're trying to tell you guys.
No, don't do that. I've done that before. It sucks. So. But I've grown. So.
Oh man, Dale. Okay, tell everybody where they can go find you, and they can reach out to you. Where can they go find you, man?
Yeah, so I actually have a free giveaway on my website, which is www.smartinsidesales.com, where you can get a quick cheat sheet on the 5 tips for hiring rockstar ISAs as a download. But that's my website, so people can see me there. They can also email me. Should I give my email? Dale@phillyliving.com. Yeah,
whatever you want to do. Yeah.
I don't know with this with all the spammers out there. I don't know, but anyway, yeah. So you shoot me an email. Greg and I were talking about how there's like a DDoS attack going on or something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Websites are being shut down out there. It's nuts.
It is.
But anyway.
Okay, so guys, you heard it. That's where you guys go get hold of Dale and reach out to him if you guys are looking to maybe join one of his teams. Obviously, you're going to have a tremendous manager and leader with Dale. He's going to help lead you guys through. He's going to help you either become a rockstar ISA assassin. Every time you see assassin, I just think of like a hand going with a huge like silencer on it in a black night, and you're just like just clipping the poor
headshots.
Yeah,
we're looking for headshots here.
Double tap. Don't be stingy. Double tap. But you guys can go ahead and get Dale there. You guys know me. You guys can reach out to me and find me and get a hold of me on my private cellular phone. It's right here next to me. It's charging. My best number is 925-915-1978. Again, 925-915-1978. Guys, I am being very honest with you. I'm scrolling into my calendar here. The McDaniel Challenge has literally blown up. I mean, to the point is October 16th, 2017, as of this recording right now, is my next available date. We are quite literally a year out. So if you guys have been thinking about, getting off the fence, and you need some free hour to 2 hours of coaching with moi, please reach out to me, you guys. Please, 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 please. You will be the 2018 kids. Nobody likes 2018 kids. They are stank-ass kids. You hang out with Matt's kids. Anyone who knows that joke, you're probably laughing. Anyways, follow me on Facebook, guys. And don't friend me. Facebook won't let me have any more friends. But follow me on Facebook. Reach out to me on my cell. Send me a message. We'll get you booked up before there is no more room in 2017. But we do this show because we absolutely love you guys beyond words. We want to see you guys succeed. I know that there is tremendous talent that has been untapped in the listeners and followers of this show and what Matt and I are doing on social media. So let your light shine, guys. Please reach out to me. Please watch what we're doing. Reach out to Dale. If you got questions there, we want to see your life expand in the most positive ways. And upcoming, guys, we got a great week next week. Matt and I have some amazing guests, so stay tuned, because I just don't know who they are. Matt didn't give me a heads up on who they are, but
surprise.
Surprise. But anyways, guys, Dale, it has been an absolute pleasure. You have brought amazing value to our show. Thank you for spending some time with us. And we will see you guys on the other side. All right, guys. Bye-bye.